My name is Jerome Perkins. I am a community engagement team member from Rutgers, Newark, from the Aging and Brain Health Alliance. Our purpose here today is to share some very important information about aging and brain health, dementia, and Alzheimer's. First of all, I want to thank Imam Abdul Aziz for hosting us today. And hopefully we can give you some information that you can take back to your family or be engaged in it yourself. Like I said, my name is Jerome Perkins. This is my right-hand team member, Mr. Luce Powell. I just want to give you a little background about how I ended up coming here about a year ago. I came to the Masjid to speak to the Imam, and he was very welcoming. And when I told him why I came and about the program, the study at Rutgers about Alzheimer's, and he said he'd like to have a presentation at the Masjid. However, it took about a year for us to connect again. Partially my fault, I guess. I'll take the weight. And I came back and saw him again. And he said, definitely, I'd like to do it during Ramadan. So here we are. Personally, I have two members. Well, now my dad had dementia, and he passed a couple years ago. One of my sisters, has dementia now, and she is full blown dementia. And what I mean by that is she can't remember 2 minutes from now. Fortunately, she has family and daughter, husband, and they taking good care of her. And so it affected me personally. I was involved in a study at one point, and before I started working there, and because I felt it was necessary because it may run in the family. I have another sister that's not involved. I'm not affected by it, and she's the oldest. So, you never know. But I'm going to pass this on to Mr. Luce Power, and he'll give you some more important information.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be more important, but hopefully it'll be informative. Again, my name is Luce Powell. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I arrived here about 20 years ago. And I never thought I'd be living in Newark. I grew up in Brooklyn. We were traveling. Sometimes my parents were going down south. We passed through Newark, and that was it. That's all I knew about Newark. But what happened, after finishing school up in Syracuse, New York, a position opened up at Rutgers University. It was an environmental justice position. That program ran out of funding, and there I was, left, gainfully unemployed with a son in Newark, New Jersey. Big fun, big fun. So what I ended up doing was teaching. I was invited to teach in Newark Public Schools, and I did that for a number of years and then retired. My son's now, graduated, went into the Air Force. He's doing this thing now. He got out, and he's doing this thing. God bless him, wherever he is right now, because he doesn't like to call that often. I don't know how many parents experience that with their children. Okay, yeah, but he's doing well. So I say no news is good news. I keep him in my prayers. Anyway, after retiring from Newark Public Schools, I became involved with the Aging and Brain Health Alliance through a former assistant principal at Barringer High School. That's where I taught. And he became involved with the study and asked me to become involved in it. Now, initially, I started out as a participant, but because I had some health challenges, I dropped out and I couldn't come back in. And since it's a research project, you have to maintain certain protocols. So, but I was committed, and I take the information that was given, about diet, sleep, et cetera, exercise, and I try to live that. I try to live that, even though I'm not an active participant in the study. That's a little bit of my history, okay? Did I tell you I grew up in Brooklyn, New York? Okay, I told you that. See, that's that dementia creeping in there. Yeah. uh, but anyway, let's talk about why we're here. We're here to share information. The first one, I want to put aside fears that you may have. You know about studies, you've heard about Tuskegee study where you had African American men, they were allowed their disease, syphilis, just to go, and people just sat back and watched. Okay, this is not that type of study. This is one where we give you information to change your lifestyle, eating habits, exercise, brain exercise to improve the quality of your life. But also, just like any progress, any advances that we've made in medicine and in health, it takes research. It takes studying to see what's going on. What's unique about this is that historically, when new medicines are tried out and new procedures are tried out, they usually try it out on European Americans or people of European males, and that's the standard. Now, over the last maybe decade, people have begun to realize that there are differences between male and female. There are differences between the different, I would say races, but different, races of people, whether you're Oriental, whether you're African descent, whether you're Native American, there are differences. Biologically, as a human species, we're pretty much the same, but there are subtle differences. A lot of that is just based on our genetics, okay? Where we lived over thousands of years, what we ate, how we treated ourselves over thousands of years, whether you're in Asia, whether you're in North America with the Native Americans, or South American, or Africa. So there are differences. So when you have medical trials and they only look at European American males, you're leaving out most of the world's population. Most of the world's population. So what this study does is look at, we say aging among African Americans, but we're really looking at people of African descent. Okay, so if you have friends that are from the Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean, if you'll put it that way, Afro-Latino, yes, 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 and especially males. When I say especially males, because males are hard-headed. We don't like to get involved in things. Women will take care of themselves quickly. If something is going wrong, they want to find out what's happening. Men tend to tough it out, we have a shoulder ache. We won't do anything till the arm falls off. Okay, that's the way we are. But women, if they have a problem, they want to find out what it is, and they want to take care of it. All right. So what this study is designed to do is to find out what's happening in the brains of people of African descent. We know the generic what's going on. They have these things we call plaques forming in the brain. But the treatment of that and the progression of that varies. And we haven't really looked at people of African descent historically. And I'm going to switch seats because the sun is in my eye.
Yeah, you can see you with the sun. The
You,
sun is helping. But if you go on the other seat, we can't see your face.
so this is a good seat for me.
Yeah.
So I'm burning for you, brother, for the camera. I want you to appreciate that now. Okay, I'm frying myself for you. Now I can hardly see you out there, but I know you're there. So what the study is when I say a study, it's not sit back and watch you suffer and watch your disease progress and you go off into oblivion. The study is to find out what's going on. So we work with you and start from age 60 through 100. Okay? Now the study has two components of it. One, if you're fully healthy, nothing is wrong with you. You're as perfect as God made you. Okay? Nothing wrong with you. We want that to stay that way. And so we do interventions, exercise, okay, diet suggestions, brain exercises to do that, to help you. Then, if we see something that's there, okay, and you can't, be honest with you, can't be part of the study because we're trying to find out how to prevent something. But if something's already occurring, then we want to give that information to your primary physician so you can address it right away. Okay? You can address it right away. And that's the main thing. That this is not something that, oh yeah, you got it, we're gonna see how long, or how the rate of decline. No, if we see something, and I'll tell you how we see things. If we see something, we're gonna let you know so you can talk to your primary health provider and you'll make your decisions, all right? Now, I wanna say one other thing to you, and we have to be very clear on this. This is out of Rutgers University. Universities conduct research. So when you come in and you do your blood work, you do your cognitive testing, and if you want to get the MRI brain scan, all right, those results go into scientific reports, okay? You are not identified as an individual, but the important thing in sharing that information out into the people in the universe that the people are doing this study is that people can see patterns or anything that's coming up. All right, so I'm not going to try to tell you that no, this information is not going to be shared. Your identity would not be shared. Okay, so you can go up on university campus, have a brain scan, go up the next day on university campus. No one knows anything about you. I won't know anything about you. He won't know anything about you. Your medical profile. Okay, because when that information is taken, it's coded and it's handled that way. We do the outreach, okay? I won't know anything about your health condition. Neither will Jerome. Neither will Dolores Hammond, the one who shepherds you through the process. None of us will know any of that information, okay? If anything is found, it's between you, and if you choose to give it to your primary caregiver, your physician, those are the two people who will know. I won't know anything about it. And I don't care to know anything about it, to be honest with you, because that's information I can't do anything with. I can't do a thing with it, okay? Now, once you're involved with the study, we'd like you to stay involved. It's somewhere about a period of 6 months. But let me back up and get a little ahead of myself. I've got 2 tracks I'm working on. One, there are 3 parts of investigation. One, you come in and you give blood work, you give blood, do a saliva test, a swab, and then they find and they look for particular proteins in your blood and in your saliva to see. So it's like going in to get an analysis of your car to find out what's going on. That's what's happening there. Then the next phase, they come in, they do the cognitive testing. So that means they give you exercises. They may show you something and ask you to recall something. They may ask you to skip down the hall and come back. Things like that, just to see your status. Then if you choose, you can go and get an MRI. And what that does, you lay in the machine and it just takes a full body scan, but particular looking at the head, your brain, to see the condition of your brain, if there's any, what they call plaques or abnormalities there, okay? None of this, no one's gonna inject you with anything. No one's taking any tissue samples or anything like that, all right? So it's non-invasive, but it's useful information. And that information will be given to you. You'll know that. I won't know it. Jerome won't know it. Dolores, who shepherds you through this, won't know it. And anyone else in the lab won't know it. Okay? So that confidentiality is very, very important. So any data that we get, the findings, that's put in the aggregate. Okay? And yes, and I mentioned this before, Rutgers University is a research institution. We do research to find out things. Once we get information, we share that information, okay? That's publicized at conferences. People share that information to find out what's going on. This is how all medical research is conducted, okay? The piece with this is it's ethical, okay? It's an ethical process. No one's being exploited, all right? Now, because it takes time, your transportation to get there, you are compensated if you come in for the blood work, you want to do the cognitive testing, and the MRI, we pay for transportation. Okay, and I'm not going to go into details on that because as soon as I open my mouth, I'll say something wrong. Okay, that I know me. I know me. So, but Dolores Hammond will be the one that can give you the details on that. And she's the one that you pick up the phone, you want to find out what's going on. She's the one that can handle that. She'll tell you that. Now, I'm going to tell you the other piece. You go up to Rutgers University, you go into the area, of the Dolores will take you over to the hospital, the medical side. But if you come into where I can't say my office, I don't have an office there, he doesn't have an office, where we meet, you'll see students, graduate students, some undergraduate students doing their work. And they're all working around the issue of brain health among people of African descent. But they're not in there to study you, all right? They're in there to get their education, their graduate degrees, and in some cases to finish up their undergraduate degrees. You have a couple of PhD students in there, and you got people of color in there. You got some people of African descent in there. So it'll look very much like maybe, I can't say, maybe a little bit like downtown Newark, or maybe at the shopping mall. You'll see a lot of people of color there. And they're young. And what I like about it, by being around young people, they keep you young. Now, the other piece I want to talk about is that we do have, once you're in the study, we do have monthly meetings. We ask you to come in. And it's more of a fellowship. And it's also an opportunity to hear what's going on in terms of what the graduate students are finding out, what they're publishing, all right? And again, all that information is aggregate. Nothing is specific to any one person. But it's interesting to hear that. Even if you don't know, even if you're not a scientist, it's good to go and hear the students talk about it. And they're wonderful in terms of answering questions. They're friendly in terms of answering questions. And they may have questions of you, okay? And so it's a good environment. I have to admit, talk about my transition. When I first got involved, I was a little cautious because Mark Luck is European American, so my antenna went up, okay? But I worked closely with a brother who's a pastor at a church, I think St. Philip's, Dr. Wilson, and he was my vice principal when I was teaching at Barringer. And talking with him and working with him, you know, I took a look. I took a second look at what was going on and saw the actual benefit that was happening, that could happen. And I put aside some of my concerns. The antenna is still there. I'm not walking blind. I'll be honest with you that. You know, if you grew up in this country, person of African descent, your antenna is always swiveling. It's always doing that, and it's still doing that. But I can honestly say, a good conscience, this work is non-exploitive. It's non-exploitive. Yes, they get research money to conduct this. Yes, that's how universities fund themselves. They get state grants, but they also get research grants. This is funded by National Institutes of Health, I believe. All right. So yes, they're getting money to do that. Yes, I get a small stipend to come here and talk to you. Yes. Okay. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. This is one reason why, if you decide to be involved in this study, you'll be compensated. And again, I'll tell you, Dolores will be the one that's filling out the details on that. I talked enough for. What is it?
On the compensation.
Go ahead.
All right. No, I just wanted to mention, Lucia said you compensate.
Raise your mic so they can hear you.
Okay.
Everybody. Excuse me. Thank you. He mentioned that he didn't want to say too much about that because he might mess it up. They will compensate you for your transportation, but they also will compensate you for your time. So for each phase, for the first two phases, you're compensated $50. For the last phase, which is the MRI, they will compensate you $100 plus travel. So if you take a car and you park in the parking lot or whatever, you have to pay. You just need the receipt. And if you pay at a meter, then you're just kind of out of it. But they do compensate you. Then they have other programs, the exercise program, and that's which Luce said was 6 months commitment,
Yeah.
and they pay you pretty well for that too. So I just wanted to make sure it's not just transportation that they compensate you for. So you can make up to $200, actually more, depending on how far you go in the study. That's all I wanted to.
The other piece I want to mention, if you in the exercise study, it's a side benefit. I guess that wasn't anticipated when the grant was written. Is the fellowship, the friendships that you develop, and that's important. That is important. The fellowship, meeting new people, exchanging ideas, having conversations. That's wonderful. And the people that you meet there are real people. Okay. When I say real people, they're genuine. They're in the study, regular folks that you see on the street, brilliant, crazy, friendly, stubborn, but just wonderful people, wonderful people. And so I encourage you, even just to put your foot in the water, to put your toes in the water a little bit, to come down and maybe do the first couple of phases and see. And just see and really, talk. And you can follow up on this by talking to Dolores, because she's the one, if you decide to become part of the study, she's the one that shepherds you through everything, every step. And then in addition to that, you get the sixth step. This is in your packet we're going to give out to you. And I hope this is not the case, even if you decide, nah, I don't want to do it, we want to give you some information that's helpful. You're going to get this information, read it, and it's helpful. Any questions? Any questions? Go ahead.
Trying to, I guess you're kind of, laying out the study and the benefit of participating, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, what does Rutgers have in terms of services?
Services in terms.
Family members or caretakers or any other information you have on what they found with respect to diet and things like that. I mean, what are the latest research and things that are?
You know what? That's an excellent question. We have
that shows about dementia.
Yeah, we have information here. It talks about diet in general, and one of the persons in here comes up with a recipe. Dolores has a brain healthy cooking, but maybe something more in depth. And I think that's what you're asking. Something more in depth. I'll take that. I'll take that under advisement to ask some questions about that. Yeah, brain. Yeah, it's in here. Brain healthy cooking. She has it here. But I mean, something even broader on, more intensive, or some more ideas. Yeah, I like that idea. I wish I had thought about it.
But just want to comment. I've been doing a little reading, about dementia and Alzheimer's, and they're saying now that before they just thought it was the plaque, but now they're coming up with other research, and they're showing ways that it could be, progression could be stopped or even reversed in many cases. But, apparently we don't get enough information on the community level as to what's happening in the whole field. I mean, it's like diabetes. Talk about diabetes and what can be done about diabetes, and people putting information down about diabetes, but not too much about dementia.
Okay.
A whole new area for a lot of us, who have relatives. And, yeah. So I understand that the study is something that Rutgers wants to get on, but at the same time, if there's some way of sharing information to the community now with what's happening now with dementia, and
the current
things.
The current say research, not necessarily, but interventions.
Yeah.
Okay, how you can delay if someone has been diagnosed with dementia, how can you slow the progress, things like that. I get you. Okay, I was say one thing. Dementia is an umbrella topic, category. Under that, it's Alzheimer's. That's one particular type of dementia. And I'd be more than happy to come back and have another young lady come back and actually give you a greater detail on break it out really, because dementia is just a broad category. Alzheimer's is a very specific type of dementia, and how it it affects the brain. And then other types of dementia are more mild, meaning muscular and neuropathologies. You would say? Yeah, vascular. There are other types of dementia. So yes, a health fair that's broad in scope. It talks about a lot of threats to the human health, the body. Yes, and then the other things we can talk about. Excuse me, is stress. Stress. Okay, let me back up. First of all, talk about sleep. Okay, 8, say for 5 to 10 hours of good, restful sleep. Now, sleep has several stages. You got to get to that third stage where it's that deep sleep. That's when literally your brain is starting to cleaning out some of what they call plaques. It's starting to clean out that. So in other words, your body is taking care of itself. It's repairing itself. What happens very often, we never get to that stage. Sometimes it's because of what chemicals we take in, whether it's drugs, alcohol, medicines, okay? Sometimes we fall asleep with the television on or the radio on, so we never really get to that deep sleep, okay? And I'll speak personally. If I fall asleep with the television or the radio on, eventually my dream is going to incorporate something I heard on the radio. And that happens. Does that happen to anybody else? Be honest. Yeah, okay. So that's why when you sleep, you plan your sleep just like you plan to go to work. You say, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna stay up for a while, let my body, digestion begin, and then I'm gonna plan to go to sleep. Just like you plan to go to work, you plan your sleep. Slow down, make that transition. You turn off the lights, get the get all that noise out there, out of the system, out of the environment, and you sleep. You sleep. And a lot of times we have stress, thinking about a lot of things, we go to sleep. What I've learned as I got older, before you go to sleep, pray. Before you go to sleep, pray. Just ask God, may I have restful sleep. God, take this burden from me right now so that I may sleep. Okay? And then that may give you that opportunity to get into that deep sleep, that restful sleep. Because if you jump into bed with a lot of stuff on your mind, it's not going to be a good sleep. And I'm not this young man. I know it doesn't happen to him. But maybe I'll speak about me. I may have to make 1 or 2 bathroom trips during the night. Okay? All right? So what you do, if you have to do that, you don't want to go stumbling around, breaking yourself up, tripping over everything, unless you know your house that well. You may have on a light, a soft light somewhere, not right over the bed, maybe in the corner of the room. Just give you enough illumination so you can navigate to the bathroom. And then you come back and you get back in bed. Yes.
Is there early warning signs for this dementia or like an age limit that it happens?
Yeah, okay. Brain health, it can happen at any age. Any age. Depends on how we've been treating our bodies. And part of it's genetics. We just don't have any control over that. But what we can do, if we have predisposed, let's say, to some brain health, we can ameliorate that by living a healthy life. In other words, it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen. Yes, but there are some things that we are predisposed to. We are some, but the thing is, you got to keep the temple as healthy as you can. Yeah, and that's the best thing to do. Keep it as healthy and as safe as you can. The same way you guard your wallet, you guard your body. Okay? Go ahead.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
blows to the head, like boxers or people who get blows to the head and contusions, do that have any part to play with dementia?
It, okay, the only example I can give of that I know of boxers, you have, I think it's Muhammad Ali. I don't know if Leon Spinks. Um, I haven't heard anything from George Foreman lately. Um, and who else? Some of the heavyweight boxers. I haven't heard too much about them. But Muhammad Ali, you know, he had those tremors. Yeah, yes, Parkinson's. You know, there's due they believe due to the shots or blows to the head. You know, so yes, we have to protect our body. Yeah, blows to the head can do that. Okay, and that's even some of the crazy stuff you used to do as a child that you're not going to do now. You think of all the things you did, all the things you rode on and did without wearing a helmet. And I think of some of this stuff, and I was like, God, there is a God, because I wouldn't be here. Because we done, you did some dumb things. That's what it's saying. Someone's protecting you. Someone is protecting you. But yes, you have to protect your head. So that's why if you decide you're going to ride a bike, take up that, you do that. I wouldn't. This is me personally. I wouldn't recommend at our age taking up boxing or something like that. You could do, maybe some sort of martial arts, Tai Chi or something like that. But, at a certain age, your body doesn't have the same capacity to heal that it had when you were younger. It just doesn't have that capacity. And the body is a well-oiled machine. Remember, when you sleep, when you get to that third level of sleep, that's when the brain is clearing out all what they call plaques, all the garbage and stuff. It's clearing that stuff out. That's why sleep is very important. But you can't be banging your head around and creating a lot of damage and expect sleep is going to take care of that. Because then you're actually damaging the cells themselves. And your brain is made up of nerve cells. It's just 1 billion nerve cells there. And what happened? Those nerve cells are transmitting biochemical electrical impulses to each cell. And those patterns, they create memories. They help you with thought. They're language. Okay. Different parts of the brain to help you with coordination. Okay. Your handwriting. Some people have a beautiful handwriting well up into their 60s and 70s and 80s. My handwriting is getting bad now. So, so I make it think like, I'm a professional. Just, but, these are the things you have to really look at your body. Your body is telling you things. Body is telling you things. And you have to use it and keep that flexibility. So I encourage, what am I, 7? I had a birthday, didn't I? Yeah, that's what I did. I had a birthday. I'm 74. And I still try to exercise. I get to the gym, whatnot. But I noticed at every year, I think something gets more difficult to do. Okay. I can't squat like I used to. Something falls on the floor. I got to do like the tilt, the one leg up in the air, and get down and get it. I can't just squat down and pick it up anymore. Well, I'm working on that. Maybe the next time we get together, I'll tell you I can do that. But I know that's a challenge. But that doesn't mean it has to stop you from trying to be that flexible, And the reason I say that, once you start giving up on what your body can do, that's when that decline happens even faster. Okay? You're saying, I can't touch my toes anymore. So you stop trying. You're going to get stiffer and stiffer. So you get up, you walk, walk around the block, get a brisk walk, and do some stretching. The goal is to get maybe halfway down your calf or touch your knee. Make it a goal to get there. Okay?
Excuse me. It was something that you asked about. I think you said, how do you know if you're getting dementia or something like that, right? Early warnings, yeah. So one of our community engagement persons always say, well, if you put your keys in the refrigerator, that might be a problem. Now, if you just forgot and where's my cell phone, my keys, and
Yeah.
it's somewhere around, and you find them, or you might tell, that's different. But if you put them in the refrigerator, that might be a problem. You know what I mean? As an example,
That's
might
good.
be extreme, but it's a good example. And as far as age is concerned, there's really no specific age. In that regard, but like it was said that it's like termites, right? It's already inside yours. It's already in you. It could be already in you, but you don't know it until maybe when the termite 10 years later and your house start falling apart, you had termites. So it's the same as with the dementia. You may not know it. That's why this study is kind of important, or is important, because it, will give you that information. You know what I mean? Like, and was one other thing you asked, stress.
Yeah.
You know, all people, probably the most stressful people for a lot of reasons. Might be have the environmental where we live. A lot of stuff is going on. You can't sleep at night because the sirens is going this way, that way, or there's a lot of noise. You just can't get that rest that you need. And as far as stress, another person, one of our people said, like, if you and a person have a disagreement and you're stressing about that disagreement, that person come to you and say, listen, I apologize, da 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 da. That person may be stress-free about the incident that occurred, but then every time you see that person, you stressing out like that. I can't say what I want to say, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. Now you stressing about something that you shouldn't. They've already apologized to you. You got to let it go. We don't always do that. So that's something to take into consideration. To try to practice that. So,
And I'm sorry.
yes, sir. Go.
And listen, you have to plan your safe spaces. So when you come in here, all right, if you have a problem with someone, talk it out. This is supposed to be a place where you relax. You don't come in here saying, oh, there's that brother showed up again. This is not the place for that. Okay? Now I go to an AME church and I'm trying to practice what I preach to you. I'm trying. But, if you're going into your house of prayer worship, that's supposed to be a soothing place for your soul. And so if you have an issue there, try to work it out with the person. Pull them aside, try to work it out. So when you come in here, you're in God's house, and this is a safe house. Your spirit is going to be protected. Okay, your spirit is going to be lifted up here. You don't come in here holding on to something. When I see this brother over there, I say, oh man, he showed up today. He came to church today, or he came to the Masjid today. No, you pull the person aside and talk to him. He may have, may not be in the Masjid or in church, say, we got to work something out. Let's meet over a cup of coffee. No, maybe a cup of decaffeinated tea would probably be better. But I mean, make this a safe place. Make this, and you have to be intentional about that. You got to make the house of worship a safe place. This is the place where you don't carry those grudges. You don't carry it. You gotta let it go. Okay. Yeah, we don't have to wrap. Yeah. I want to ask him that. Okay. See, this is my older brother. He tells me what to do because I haven't quite figured it out for myself. We're gonna give these out. We're gonna take care of you. Yeah. We're gonna put together a packet for you. Make it easy for you to carry. All right. I know you're ready to go into service in a few minutes, right? Prayer. 7:20. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. We'll be up here to answer any questions, one-on-one. If you have that, we're going to put together packets for you to take with you. And feel free to reach out. You have Jerome's card, my card, Dolores. So If you yes, if you have someone who's interested in signing up, we can take that information. Sign up right now. And signing up doesn't lock you into anything for the rest of your life. It's just the first step in finding out more information, and hopefully you decide to become part of the study. Okay? And I'm really pushing for the brothers, because brothers, we tend to tough it out. You know, our arm falls off. That's all right. You know, the sisters tend to take care of themselves a little better. Okay?
You give the age limit.
Oh, 60. 60, yes, 60 years and older. Okay? Oh, you qualify. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. You have a question. You know what? I don't know, but they do, you know, say if you're going to be on the screen a lot, they do tell you to wear certain glasses to protect your eyes. I imagine there could be some physiological impacts. One, you're sitting down, you're sedentary, you're not active, you're not moving around. Three, you're in close proximity to a screen, what usually is a very bright light. Okay? So, yes, I do suspect there would be some impacts. The nature of the impacts, how it affects you, I don't know. It's the same thing as noise. Okay? The very noisy environment, you know, sometimes you hear people get tinnitus, ringing, if they've been in a very noisy environment. You know, so yes, I do think the environment like that can have an impact on you. What the specific impact, I don't know. I can't speak to that. But those are questions I can take back and ask. Okay, we're going to wrap it up now, and we have cards. We have folders, material to hand out, and we have cards for people that want to move on and find out a little bit more about the study. I want to be part of the study. Okay? All right. Again, my name is Lachey Powell, and this is my partner, Jerome Perkins.
Jerome Perkins, and
Okay.
once again, I want to thank Imam Abdul Aziz and for allowing us to come here today to give this information. Thank you.
Thank you very much.